You did everything right. You played by the rules, worked your tail off, and from the outside, it looks like you've made it. But now, you're standing in the middle of this life you've built, and you're just tired. The very idea of taking a break, of doing absolutely nothing, fills you with a low, humming sense of guilt. Your self-worth feels dangerously tangled up with how much you cross off your to-do list each day. If you just felt a twinge of recognition, this video is for you. We're not going to talk about 10xing your productivity or finding a new hustle. We're going to talk about how to unwire that deep, nagging belief that you have to earn your right to rest. We're going to talk about how to stop just surviving and finally start thriving. So, if you feel a pit in your stomach every time you slow down, I want you to know you're not broken. It's not a personal failing, it's a learned response. For so many of us, especially high achievers, we were handed a playbook early on, and the rules were simple. Work hard, be productive, and you will be valuable. You will be worthy. And hey, it worked. It got you the job, the promotion, the respect. But over time, the line between what I do and who I am gets blurry. This is a process psychologists call identity fusion. It's like your sense of self is a paper label glued to the jar of your work. At first, it's just a label, but over the years, the glue hardens until you can't peel it off without tearing the paper. You forget what the jar underneath even looks like. When this happens, rest doesn't feel like a break. It feels like a threat. If you're not working, then who are you? That guilt is your brain's alarm system, screaming that your very identity is at risk. Think of your body and brain like a smartphone. If you never let it fully recharge, just plugging it in for 10 minutes while you're still scrolling, the battery health degrades. Eventually, it can't hold a charge. It dies at 40%, and the whole system starts crashing. That's burnout. It's a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by chronic, unmanaged stress. It's your system flashing a giant error message. The impulse is to just try to run the same programs harder, but what you really need is a full shutdown and reboot. Yet we feel guilty for even thinking about it. At its core, burnout is defined by three things: overwhelming exhaustion, a growing cynicism and detachment from your job, and a feeling that you're just not effective anymore. Okay, so we've established the what. But the real game changer is understanding the why. This constant drive to be on isn't really about a deep love for productivity. When you peel back the layers, overworking is almost always a coping mechanism rooted in fear. And calling those fears out is the first step to taking away their power. Let's look at 4 hidden fears that are often driving the bus. First, the fear of not being good enough. This is like having a faulty fuel gauge for your self-worth. No matter how much success you pump into the tank, the needle always points to empty, convincing you that you're just one mistake away from being stranded. This is the echo of imposter syndrome, telling you that you have to constantly prove your right to be here. Second, the fear of missing out. This fear puts you on a professional treadmill. You see everyone else running, so you run too, terrified that if you slow down, you'll be flung off the back. The problem is, the treadmill isn't actually going anywhere. This scarcity mindset keeps you chasing, always feeling one step behind, whispering, "If I don't say yes to this, someone else gets the chance." Third, there's the fear of facing ourselves. Let's be honest, work is an amazing distraction. It's like keeping a TV on at full volume in every room of your house. The noise is a great way to avoid hearing the silence, the creaks, or the quiet dissatisfaction that might be echoing in the empty halls. When you're busy, you don't have to feel the loneliness, the grief, or the discomfort of being still. And fourth, the fear of an unfulfilling life. This comes from a story we're all told, that the clearest path to happiness is climbing the ladder of success. We spend years scrambling up the rungs of professional achievement, chasing titles and promotions. The fear is that if we stop climbing, we'll fail. But the bigger risk is getting to the top, only to realize our ladder was propped against the wrong wall the entire time. Which one of those just hit a little too close to home? Take a second and really think about it. Giving the fear a name is a surprisingly powerful first step. So what do we actually do about this? This isn't about a new productivity hack. This is about deep, transformative work centered on two things: self-compassion and boundaries. Here are 4 practical things you can start doing today to rewire your relationship with work. Step 1. Practice deliberate and scheduled rest. Rest is not laziness, it's a required function. Think of an athlete. Their muscles don't grow during the workout, they grow during recovery. Without that recovery, they're just breaking their body down. Deliberate rest is the recovery phase for your brain and body, and it's where the real strengthening happens. The best way to start is to schedule rest into your calendar like it's a non-negotiable meeting. It'll feel weird, but it's crucial. Start with ridiculously small micro steps. A 5-minute walk without your phone, 90 seconds of slow breathing, or just listening to one full song without doing anything else. These small, consistent acts build your rest muscle over time. Step 2. Master the gentle, firm boundary. Think of boundaries not as walls to keep people out, but as a fence around your personal garden. The fence protects your time and energy, giving you a safe space to cultivate what brings you life, your health, your peace, your relationships, without them getting trampled. One of the biggest drivers of overwork is feeling like you can't say no. Practice the pause. The next time someone asks you for something, instead of saying yes on autopilot, just say, "Let me check my calendar and I'll get back to you." That tiny gap gives you space to make a conscious choice. Another key boundary? Have a hard stop to your workday. Decide you're logging off at 6 p.m. and then actually do it. Step 3. Cultivate radical self-compassion. Self-compassion is the ultimate antidote to that harsh inner critic. It's learning to treat yourself with the same kindness you'd give to a friend who is struggling. So when you're resting and that thought, "I'm being so lazy," pops up, gently challenge it. Think of self-compassion as a translator for that inner critic. It hears, "You're being lazy," and translates it to, "My body and brain need this recovery time. Rest isn't lazy, it's restorative." Journaling can be a huge help here. At the end of the day, just write down what you're feeling without judgment. Getting those thoughts out of your head can help you see your stress patterns more clearly. Step 4. Reconnect with your identity outside of work. This is how you finally peel that hardened label off the jar. Ask yourself, who am I without my job title? What did you love to do before your career took over? This is like returning to an old, overgrown garden you used to love. You have to pull back the weeds of your job title and work obligations to rediscover the things you planted long ago. Your hobbies, your curiosities, your friendships. They're still there, just waiting for a little attention and sunlight to grow again. The goal here is play, not achievement. Rebuild the parts of your identity that got neglected and remind yourself that your worth is inherent. This journey isn't a quick fix, and it's way better when we do it together. If this resonated with you, take a moment and share your biggest takeaway in the comments below. I read every single one, and your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today to feel a little less alone. And if you're looking for more content on how to build a life that feels as good on the inside as it looks on the outside, please consider subscribing to the channel. So let's land the plane. That guilt you feel when you rest? It's real, but it's based on a faulty belief system that says your worth is tied to your productivity. The real problem isn't a lack of effort, it's a set of deep-seated fears that tell you you're not enough, that you'll miss out, or that you're climbing the wrong ladder. The way forward isn't to work harder, but to rest deliberately. The solution is in scheduling that rest like an athlete, building a gentle fence to protect your energy, speaking to yourself with compassion, and tending to the forgotten gardens of your identity. Remember, your worth is not earned through exhaustion. You don't need to burn out to be brilliant. The goal isn't just to stop overworking, it's to start thriving. And that journey begins the moment you finally give yourself permission to rest.